Hey beautiful souls, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk to a very specific group of people, those of you who are later in life and who are recovering and rebuilding after a toxic or narcissistic relationship. So whether you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s or beyond, this message is for you, okay? Because healing doesn't have an expiration date, and it's never ever too late to start over. And of course, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Anne-Marie. I'm a neurotransformational life coach, hypnotherapist and spiritual guide. I help women heal and reclaim themselves and to find meaning and purpose in their life again after toxic or narcissistic relationships. So let's begin with this truth. Letting go or walking away from a toxic or narcissistic relationship is not easy, especially when it's been years, sometimes decades, of manipulation, of gaslighting, of emotional neglect. Maybe you stayed longer than you thought you should. I know I did. Maybe you were told over and over again that they would change. Maybe you were told over and over again that you were too sensitive, that you were paranoid, that you were the problem, that you expected too much, or had you believing that no one else would love you, when it was actually the other way around. But over time, you started to believe it. So first, I want you to stop blaming yourself. You did what you had to do to survive. And if you're here now listening to this, it's because some part of you still believes in healing, in hope, and in the possibility of a better future and returning back to your true, authentic self. So no matter how much someone deceived you, breadcrumbed you, future faked you, it's now your turn to give all that love to yourself. No one deserves your love more than you, okay? Healing after manipulative, coercive love is hard at any age, but doing it later in life can feel uniquely different and bring a mountain of different challenges. You might feel like time has been stolen from you, like you've missed out on love, safety, or the life that you could have had. Instead, you've given it to this other person who's just been taking. You might be navigating not only heartbreak, but retirement, maybe adult children, maybe aging parents, maybe financial stress or health concerns. And they're genuine, real concerns, right? Society tells us that by a certain age, we should have it all figured out. So there's a huge amount of shame and humiliation attached to that as well, that you also now need to work through. But here's the thing, you are not behind. You are not irreparable. Is that a word? Irreparable? It is now. And it's never ever too late. I'm here to tell you, I'm proof that it's never too late. In fact, many people don't truly discover who they are until they're forced to reclaim themselves from a lifetime of shrinking who they were for someone else. One of the most painful parts of a toxic relationship or narcissistic relationship is how it strips away your dignity and sense of self. Maybe you stopped pursuing your interests Maybe you lost touch with friends. You let go of friends because it was easier to just be available for this person at their beck and call. Didn't matter how much they ignored you and only called you when they needed you. Or maybe even questioned your own reality on a daily basis. I know I did. And constantly dropping your needs. As I said, to be available for them, to appease them, to keep the peace, to not have the fight or to not have to deal with the temper tantrums. You may have stopped liking yourself for now reacting just as bad as them. It's not your fault. You were under immense stress and trauma. And narcissistic or toxic partners will chip away at your confidence, right? And just constantly chipping away at your confidence and your self-esteem so that you're easier to control, especially when you now start, like I said, reacting like them, the way they want you to be. So then they can justify their cruelty. So stop beating yourself up and focus on healing so you can return to your kind, loving, consistent self again. The person that they actually fell in love with, then spend the rest of your relationship tearing that down. Any wonder you're confused. But now, in this new chapter, so we're closing that chapter, right? In this new chapter, your first job is to reconnect with you, to love you, to be kind to you. Start by asking simple questions. What brings me joy? Because most of us don't even know anymore, right? It's taken me a while to start recognizing, hang on, what did I used to like doing that I stopped doing? That was torn down by this other person. Because they can't be happy for your joys, because that's seen as it makes them feel not enough. And so you're always playing down your joys, and you're always playing down the good stuff and the bad stuff, just to not trigger them. So ask yourself, what brings me joy? What kind of music, what kind of experiences light me up? Who am I when no one is trying to control me? And that might take a while, so be gentle with yourself. There may be some tears as you recognize how much you've just lost yourself in this relationship or relationships, right? It may not be romantic, could be family, could be friends, could be at work. So don't rush this part, okay? Healing doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't go in a straight line. It's up and down, and it's like a pendulum swinging effect. Think of it as rediscovering who you always were before the world told you who to be. If you spent years walking on eggshells like I did, it can feel strange, even wrong, to set boundaries or to do things for yourself without feeling selfish, guilty. Boundaries are not selfish, they are self-respect. It might, sorry, I'm just fixing this camera. It might start with small things, saying no when you mean it, ending a conversation that turns toxic, or distancing yourself from people who dismiss or minimize not just your painful experiences, but also your good experiences, okay? You're allowed to protect your peace. You don't owe anyone access to you. Just because of shared history, blood, or obligation. This is your life now. and you get to choose who enters your space. That's pretty powerful. Healing doesn't mean that you never feel sad or triggered again. It means you learn how to support yourself through those moments with compassion and love in your heart for yourself without the shame. You might have days when you feel really strong, and then followed by days where the grief comes in like a huge wave. That's okay. Be that surfer and ride the waves, okay? Grief isn't just about losing the relationship. It's often about mourning the person you thought that they were, and that them being deceitful was somehow your fault. It's often about mourning the years lost, the self lost, the dreams you had that were somehow always manipulated. Each time you got close, then poof, it would all go up in smoke. The loss of so much wasted energy and love. Because you genuinely loved this person, right? That's why you stayed, hoping and believing that it would get better, that this time it'll be different, this time they will get it, this time they will realize how much they've hurt you, this time they will change. That's not going to happen. So let yourself feel the pain, and also remind yourself you are not starting from zero. You are starting from wisdom. Isn't that a beautiful space? You are starting from wisdom. You know more now. You love better now. You can build something solid, grounded, and joyful from here. You're going to have a much more stronger foundation that no one else will be able to shake for you ever again. This is your opportunity to craft a new chapter, not one defined by survival, but by freedom. Reconnect with old friends, try new hobbies, go on solo dates. I love my solo dates. I love exploring. No one can keep me happy but me. Okay? One thing that narcissists hate is that you can be happy on your own. No one can sabotage my joy in the little things. Start therapy if you haven't already and if you need it. Journal, travel, volunteer, join a support group. Hopefully this is becoming a little bit of a support group, okay? That's my intention for this channel. You don't need to know exactly what your future looks like. Just know that you deserve way, way better than what you had. And you are now allowed to enjoy it. You are allowed to enjoy it, even if you're still healing. So I'll leave you with this. Healing from a toxic or narcissistic relationship at any age is an act of courage. Absolutely an act of courage and strength. But healing later in life, that's an act of rebellion. I love that realization. It's an act of rebellion because you're going against everything that everyone tells you that who you were. Because you are declaring boldly that you still matter, that your story isn't over yet. It's just beginning. And so if this resonated with you, drop a comment, share your story, or connect with others in the community. Just say, I'm still standing, and smile as you're posting that comment. And remember, your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't define you. And you can now change it and return to your true, authentic essence, one of love and one of light. Because your story is still yours to write. So girl, boy, start writing. And thank you for being here. I am so, so proud of you. So until the next time, as always, so much love to you. And have a wonderful day. Bye for now.